This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, December 1st, 2008, and this is episode 495 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hotchkiss of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
Howdy-ho, Matt.
And also on today's show is Mike Scoba, a blogger at allears.net. Welcome, Michael.
Boy, Matt, people sure drive fast around here.
People sure...
Timekeeper?
Oh, that was a good guess, though. People sure drive faster in here.
Test Track?
Nope.
World of Motion?
Sounds dangerous.
Wow, swing and a miss.
Wow. I got that.
And also joining us, Annette Owens, a travel agent at MEI Mousefan Travel. Welcome, Annette.
Hey, guys.
And on today's show, this is a show topic near and dear to Annette's heart, I should know. But we're actually going to be talking about dessert parties. It's something that you may have heard about. Some of you may have actually attended these during MouseFest. There's usually a couple of these being held. Perhaps you've attended or you're planning on attending the Fantasmic dessert party that we're going to be holding for MouseFest this year and we've held last year. So we thought we'd talk about it because it's something that you can do. Now, Annette, in terms of, let's talk, before we even talk about the dessert parties themselves, in order to get into a dessert party, assuming you're not invited to one and you wanted to kind of get one yourself, book one yourself, you basically have to be, is it only available to basically grand gatherings?
Actually, a lot of the dessert locations are given to groups. That's something that a lot of groups do.
Yep.
So, obviously our MouseFest group, we have one every year. One? Several.
Two.
And some of the convention space groups, they will do those. Then after that, there's some space available for guests about 30 days prior if they wanted to call and ask. So
Len could call 30 days before and book it for himself.
Yeah,
I could, and all the desserts would be mine.
Yeah, and some of these locations hold large numbers of people, so sometimes it can be hard to get the numbers that you need for these locations.
Okay, so there are minimums to them.
There are minimums, yes.
Okay. So Len would have to technically invite other people.
He'd have to find some friends.
All you have to do is pay for the minimum, is what you're saying.
Right. Just pay for it, and then you eat it all.
Show up. Matt,
My mistake.
Let's be clear.
So let's talk about the different dessert parties. Let's start in Epcot. There's a couple different locations you could do it in Epcot, Annette. And I'm going to list off the ones that I know of, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of these. There's one at the Upper and Lower United Kingdom Pavilion. There's one in Italy, and there's one in Japan. Did I miss any?
Oh, many.
Oh, many. Okay.
There really are. If you've been down, you see all these red flashing sticks at night, and they're taking different people to different dessert parties around the lagoon. So there's actually one right by the bridge in France.
Yep.
Very large location there.
Oh, yeah. That's
over in Morocco, over by the boat docks, they actually have two smaller ones, or you can make it one large.
Yes, that's by the water wheel.
Yes.
Yes.
See, you've seen the light and wondered what was going on over there.
I had. Well, I figured it was a dessert party because they were setting up hors d'oeuvres or something there, and I figured.
There's also China.
There is a overlook in China,
yep.
And then there's one over in Mexico. Where in Mexico? It's trying to figure out the best way. It's by the cantina.
Which side of the cantina? If I'm facing the water, which side of the cantina?
To the right. So it's between Mexico and the plaza. Yep.
Oh, okay.
And actually, if you have a large group that's going, I've been down when a convention space is taken over. They've kind of roped it off there at the front, right in front.
Oh, interesting.
And had a party right there.
And now during these, and this is true for any dessert party, really. I mean, you have a wide variety of possible food you can get because we call it dessert parties, but in fact, you could also get real meals as well, right?
Can you really?
Yes. In fact, yeah. Matt knows we were talking about doing his rehearsal dinner there.
That's right.
For
the wedding that we weren't invited to.
It was lost in the mail, seriously. The post office these days, I mean...
See, nothing like planning something and not getting invited to it,
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, really. Thanks for nothing there, Rockford.
But you can go and have a meal and then move into dessert and be there, or... just do desserts. A lot of people do desserts, but it could be anything from cookies up to a fondue station to pretty elaborate desserts and
some great
drinks.
Spreads. Now, Scopa, you've been to a number of these. Talk a little bit about your experience with the dessert parties in Epcot and some of your favorite locations.
Well, the one I like is the I like the one at the United Kingdom only because it just gives me more. There's a lot of room. I think that the location is very good for viewing the Video Globe. Very good audio, and the desserts are pretty good.
What are the dessert options? What do you get for desserts?
Well, it
That's
really
an extra.
varies.
What's like the least expensive thing?
Water.
No, I'm sure it's more than that, right?
I don't think you can get just water, Mike. Sorry.
That's true.
No, it's kind of like cookies and brownies and that kind of.
And how much is it per person? What are we talking about per person for that?
Oh, for that.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is where it gets very complicated because there's the per person price. You've got to pay for the venue itself. So the venue fees can go anywhere from $250 to $500 for a night,
Okay.
depending on the space. And then it's based on the menu you select.
Okay,
so it can be anywhere from $28 per person up sometimes.
So
depending on
it's
the menu.
$250 plus
At least.
at least $28 per person.
Theoretically.
What's the minimum number of people you have to invite?
Oh, listen to you.
I know,
It all
he's totally
depends.
thinking.
This is so funny because, Lynn, it really does depend on the location you pick and how many people they're allowed. But they don't like to do dessert parties for less than 25 people.
So
There's
you're
a lot of
looking at-
setup involved for them, obviously.
So you're looking at around a bottom dollar figure of around $800 to do the dessert party.
Give or take.
$250 plus or minus around 5 something.
The wheels are turning.
800, but for $800 you could have. And so what time are you allowed to get into these things? Can you start at 6?
Oh my gosh, it's not a buffet that lasts all night.
Yeah. No, I think it's about 8 o'clock in it.
All right, you get about an hour.
Yeah.
An
So
hour.
you get to eat about 30 minutes. The show's going on while illumination's going. The food, the coffee is there.
Oh, they have
so-
coffee.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, it really varies, and there's a lot of options to choose from. I mean, you can make it as elaborate or as basic as they'll allow you. But I mean, one thing that Disney does allow you to do is really add on and have a coffee station or have, like Annette mentioned, the fondue station over there, and it really does.
I just don't love fondue, but I could definitely see
Well, one of the things, I mean, really,
coffee and baklava.
what
By
really
the
makes
Dole
them stand
Station.
out, though, the Dole-
Dole station.
What I think really stands out though from these parties is the vantage point that you get. Besides getting a reserved space, I mean, Mike was talking a little bit earlier about the spot in the UK pavilion, which I think also, Mike, is also my favorite one, because you're literally on the water, and you have this, I think, really the perfect vantage point of seeing Illuminations right from there, because it's like right in front of you. It's like if you took away all the buildings and all the trees and just plopped Illuminations right in front of you, that's the best way I can describe it. I've been to the one in Italy twice, although the second time I went was actually much better than the first time. But even so, I really didn't enjoy it quite as much as the United Kingdom pavilion. And that one, the lower UK pavilion, is really the pièce de résistance among
Love
all
it. Speak French.
Oh my goodness.
among all the different locations there. But that's just my opinion on it.
I guess for me, my favorite one is I did a dessert party for my family. Last year when we went down, the kids took extra guests with them that had never been to Disney, so we're trying to do it up right. And we were up on the pagoda at Japan. And what a great vantage point, because you're pretty much up on stage eating desserts while everybody's walking by, wondering who you are.
So what? You were on the second floor of the Mitsukoshi Teppanyaki, the old place?
Oh, you know where they play the drums in Japan?
No way. You were in the pagoda?
We were on the platform at the
How much was
pagoda.
that?
Just stand
That
up.
sounds
turning.
That sounds
Wheels are
fun.
Obviously, it has to be a small group.
Annette, I think
because,
you're making a sale right after this show.
but it's great because you're up, so you're getting a great
Yeah,
vantage point.
I
Actually,
love it.
while you're pre-eating your desserts, you're looking over and you can see the fireworks from
You're
Wishes.
pre-eating your desserts? What?
You're eating your desserts for the pre-show. You're
Okay,
getting to see
okay.
Wishes from. That's what I meant.
Now let's move on to the other dessert party location, which is at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And here at the dessert location, if you were, the best way to describe it, there's an elevated area behind the seating area. If you know where where the food stands are, it's right next to that, and it's a little bit elevated above the seats, so you can see over the people, obviously, that are over there. While among the food options, now Len, I know you're big on the food. I will say, in my opinion, the food at the Fantasmic dessert party is better than the food options that you get at the Epcot dessert party. And of course, that can be very subjective of me, but I really do think that the spreads that you can get over there I've always found them to be just a little bit better.
So each park has a different catering menu?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Really? Do you guys have samples of these menus?
They are available. And
I think the best thing about the Fantasmic is you get a fork with your dessert.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, for the where you were getting
really don't
cookies
care
over
about
at
the fork.
Epcot. Well, feel free to eat with your fingers, but
Oh yeah.
You don't have to tell me. It's all right.
I agree, Matt. I mean, I went to both of them last year, and there was no. I could remember Steve Barrett and a few others with me. We didn't want to leave the dessert table because there was just so much stuff there. We just didn't want to leave. It was great. The other nice thing about the Fantasmic dessert party is that there are tables there. You can sit down and graze. And also, I like the way they have the water stations or the drink stations over there. I think there's plenty of room. You don't bump into people. I really like it. One thing I would like to say, though, is if you've never seen Fantasmic, you're not going to get a good vantage point at the dessert party location. It's not something you go to watch Fantasmic. It's something you go to pick out. You know?
Yeah, it's good for Len.
Yeah. So speaking of drinks, can you get alcohol at these things?
Annette?
yes, you can.
I think I just heard him fall down. Len, get back in your chair.
The wheels are turning.
I mean, to add to what Scopa said too is, just remember you're not up front like you are in Illuminations. You're at the very back. You're back by the concession stands.
Right.
So you do have the lighting and all of the what am I trying to say? The stuff in front of you. So you're going to have to sit down really to watch, and there are going to be some things that you miss.
It's
I
hard
know
to
from
see
when
stuff
I
on the
was
water.
there, I couldn't see Mickey when he was up on the mountain.
Right.
That was all blocked by.
It definitely doesn't have as good of a vantage point as the one in Epcot does for the Illuminations ones, and that's definitely something. But I think Mike brought up a good point. I think if you've seen Fantasmic before, and this having the dessert party really adds a different dimension to it, because you obviously get to. It's great, for friends and to share it there and kind of add a different way of seeing the show.
And again, that is a patio where you can have dinner up there.
So you can also
do
have
dinner and then desserts. So
And drinks.
and drink.
and a show.
Very good.
Wow.
So, I think Annette, we converted one person over here. I think you'll be getting a call right after this show.
This is a fabulous idea. We should do this for the show.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how to plan it.
Wow. We should do this.
Very good. Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at WDWtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and the fabulous Annette Owens, I'm Matt Hotchberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.